No other than the Apostolic Administrator of the Diocese of Calibo. And before we move forward to the press conference proper, I would like to acknowledge first our Aklan media friends, Aklan Press Club, and different individuals who came here. First, Mrs. Annie Bautista, Mrs. Arlene Joy Mendoza of GMA, thank you very much. Mrs. Sumra de la Cruz Rojo of Aklan Reporter, Mr. Monsur Betero and company from Calibo Cable TV Network, Ms. Kesley Ann Raulio of Energy FM, Radio Todos, hello Sir John Guarin and company, of course Sir Boy Zabal from Aklan News Forum, Mr. Alan Alcedo of Kapagaka, Mr. June Aguirre of Rappler. Did I miss anyone? And of course, the presence of Nundo Gerardo. Thank you very much for coming here. And our guests from the Archdiocese of Capiz. Hello, fathers, brothers. And of course, Miss Claire from Ekman. Thank you very much for coming, and God bless us all, and may this press conference bring more good fruits for the church and for the Diocese of Calibo. Now may I request Archbishop Dick Bendico to say something.
Okay, so thank you so much, Father Justin. Good morning, brother. Good afternoon to all of you. I really was thinking that there would only be one or two people who would interview me. I was surprised to see that a lot of people will be coming over for this interview. I do not know what questions you will throw to me, but hoping that I will be able to answer them. And I will be able to explain something also about my role as the Apostolic Administrator of the Diocese of Calibo. I have here with me, I brought with me my appointment coming from the Vatican. And I will request Father Justin here to please read my appointment. It's in Latin, actually, the original one, but translated into English.
First, I will show to you the original document, the appointment coming from the Holy Father from Rome. The appointment reads, Dicastery for Bishops, Calibo. About the appointment of Apostolic Administrator, decree. On considering the guidance of Calibo Church vacant through the resignation of His Excellency Lord Father Jose Corazon Calao, the Holy Father Pope Leo XIV, to the present decree of the Dicastery for the Bishops, names and appoints as the Apostolic Administrator of the mentioned church from today and until the elected bishop may take the canonical possession of the seat, His Excellency Lord Father Victor V. Bendico, Metropolitan Archbishop of Capiz, and bestows on him the rights, duties, and faculties which belong to the diocesan bishops according to canon law, still those which are contained in the Ministry of Bishops Apostolorum Successores in number 244, Directorii de Pastorali, notwithstanding any contrary provisions, given in Rome from the chambers of the Dicastery for Bishops, 16th day of June, year 2025. Signed, Ilson de Jesus Montanari, Secretary, and Ivan Kovac, Sub-Secretary. End of the appointment. Since I have already read to you the formal appointment as Apostolic Administrator of the Most Reverend Victor B. Bendico, D.D. Let us now proceed to the press conference forum. You are free to ask questions and make some clarifications addressed to Archbishop Vic Bendico. So the first one who raised her hand is Mrs. Annie Bautista from GMA.
Bishop and Annie Bautista from GMA Bendico. Bishop Bendico, gusto mo naman kilala ko din. Sino din si Bishop Victor Bendico?
So, I am Archbishop Victor Bendico, the Archbishop of Capiz. And I was born January 22, 1960 in Rojas City. And eventually, after my elementary there in Rojas City, I entered St. Pius X Seminary for 4 years. And eventually sent to the University of Santo Tomas for my philosophy studies and theology studies. After those years, I was ordained a priest, April 11 of 1984, by the late Archbishop Antonio Fundosa. And I was assigned as spiritual director of the high school department. The other here was, I think, a fourth-year high school that time. And eventually I taught there for 4 years. He was still a student during his philosophy years. And well, after that, I was sent to Rome to study sacred liturgy at San Anselmo. But I finished my licentiate after 3 years at San Anselmo. Eventually, I was assigned as parochial vicar of Saint Teres parish in Locudan. And after 3 years, sent back to Rome for my doctorate. So I was able to finish my doctorate after 5 years in sacred liturgy. And I went back to the Philippines in the year 2000 and became the rector of Santa Maria Mater et Regina Seminarium in Rojas City. That's our major seminary. That time it was, year 2000, that was only for philosophy students. So after a year, our theology opened. So it means that I became the rector of both the philosophy and theology departments of Santa Maria Mater et Regina Seminarium. And eventually, after 33 years in the ministry in Capiz, in a way, assigned also in different tasks, responsibilities in their diocese, I was elected as the Bishop of Baguio. So that was, I think, in the year 2016. And in 2017, in January, I was ordained as the Bishop of Baguio and installed as the Bishop of Baguio at the Our Lady of the Atonement Cathedral in Baguio City. I was there in Baguio for 6 years and 4 months. Baguio City and the whole province of Benguet. That was my coverage. And I was enjoying already my stay there, although I really had a hard time understanding the language and for speaking the language. In Baguio City, okay lang, may Tagalog, okay. Then in English, although may Ilocano na, So, I didn't celebrate any much in Ilocano. But at the Benguet side, you have there the Ibaloy, the Kankanai, the Kalaguya, the Karao, languages. It's really different and really hard to understand that language. So what I did was only to celebrate Mass in English. And in my homily, it's more of a English and Tagalog combination. So I was there enjoying my work when eventually I was appointed as the Archbishop of the Diocese of Capiz. That was the time when Archbishop Jose Agricola was assigned as the Archbishop of Manila. So I went back to Capiz, back to sender, 2023, and until now, I am there. Now, I have received this appointment as the Apostolic Administrator, and I hope that I will be able to fulfill my task. But I forgot, when I was the Bishop of Baguio, I think January was my installation. After 6 months, I was also appointed as the Apostolic Administrator of the Diocese of San Fernando Union. So I would be going down to the Union, going up to Baguio from time to time, meeting here, meeting there, and visiting parishes, fiestas, confirmations, etc. And I was the Apostolic Administrator of San Fernando La Union for a year until the Bishop of San Fernando La Union arrived. Okay, so that was it, I went back to Baguio, as truly as a full-time bishop again, as a full-time bishop again. So hopefully this time it will not take long. That after some months, probably there will be hoping there will be a new bishop for the Diocese of Calif.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Annie. Let me call on Mr. Alan Alcedo from Cabalaca.
Good afternoon, Your Excellency. I'm Alan Alcedo of online program, Cabalaca. Kinahanglan pa pala may administrator sa diocese bago mag-CM ito namin.
Yes, there is also what we call the diocesan administrator. And the diocesan administrator is chosen from among the members of the Board of Consultors. So, if the consultors would elect one, then that priest becomes the diocesan administrator. Now, in my case, the appointment comes from Rome. That is why I am called the Apostolic Administrator. Well, if there is a need, well, there is truly a need, because the administrator is supposed to bring unity and order in the diocese, whether diocesan administrator or apostolic administrator. In my case, it's the bishop. So, halimbawa, kung may mga confirmation, ordinarily, ang ministers of sacrament of confirmation is the bishop. And if there are other concerns to be decided in the diocese, the bishop is there to be of help to the diocese. So that is why I'm here, as the administrator. I will just administer. And in my role as administrator, well, I will see to it that things would really be in accordance with the mind of the church, with the mind of the Holy Father.
So your appointment, Most Reverend, is only temporary
Yes,
until the time that there is a new bishop to be installed.
yes.
Now, pwede man mag-obispo sa isang diocese ang isang apostolic administrator? Permanent bishop of a diocese ang apostolic administrator.
What do you mean?
What I mean is, halimbawa, ma-appoint ka by the Holy Father. Now you are the apostolic administrator of this diocese. Hindi natin alam, baka i-appoint ka ni Santo Padre Leo, the 14th, na maging permanenteng obispo ng aming diocese.
You know, Capiz is an archdiocese. And Calibo is a diocese. Calibo is a suffragan diocese of the Archdiocese of Capiz. There are two suffragans in the Archdiocese of Capiz. The Diocese of Calibo and the Diocese of Rondon. So, I'm the Metropolitan. Yeah. In other words, something like I'm the head of the two dioceses, especially if there are concerns related to the Metropolitan, then, I head, no? The Capiz, Calibo, and Romblon, and try to settle things if there is something there to.
So, my question is, can an apostolic administrator be a bishop?
Here, well, temporary lang ako.
Yes, but
Ano ang ako labi ako, an archbishop ako.
what are the, how the bishops are selected as bishop?
How bishops are selected. It's a process. Proseso nun eh. Normally, may mga questionnaires sila ako sa mga clergy, sa mga lay, sa mga religious, no? And hindi madali. At times, it takes years. And there are many people who are being asked. No? Even people who are credible and truly are sincere, no? Truthful, and who can make a real assessment of the candidates. So, normally, well, the nuncio, the apostolic nuncio, distributes the questionnaires. And all those questionnaires are sent back to him. Then he forwards that to Rome. Rome studies that, and eventually Rome decides.
Your authority, your jurisdiction, your limitations are the same with the bishop.
The same with the bishop.
The local ordinary.
Ano the appointment ho? The appointment states something there about the role of the bishop. The
Role of the bishop, of the apostolic administrator.
Yes.
The role.
It says here that the Holy Father bestows on Archbishop Victor V. Bendico the rights, duties, and faculties which belong to the diocesan bishops, according to canon.
My last question from my end is, bakante subong ang trono ni sa obispo naman sa katedral, dito o kinagsimba. Bakante pa, may pulang nga tela. Ipamangkot ko sa akong kaugalingon, saan pala ba akong malingkuran nila sa bagong obispo.
Kung ma-install ng
Pag-install na. Ang mga kumuloyo, mga faithful, siguro excited na sila makaipalo, pero may idea ka, Your Excellency, kung lumabakot ba namin sila eh. Kung saan ko pa, madugayan bala, tapos may araman na pamangko sa ako after the birthday of Bishop Calao. Mana ang iyang letter in published sa Chancellor, resignation. Why resignation? So could you explain that further? Your Excellency.
Because it is according to the mandate of canon law that the bishop, when he reaches his 75th birthday, he has to make a letter of resignation to the Holy Father. Now, we would like to clarify that it should not be there should not be a negative connotation with that, because that is canonically mandated. Now, some people would make issues out of it because of the term resignation.
Resignation, yes.
But to make it more friendly, or for the popular understanding, it is actually his retirement.
It's
Letter
reaching
of-
the age of retirement.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much, Your Excellency.
Let's also give a chance to Miss Claire Tiad of XFM.
Good afternoon, Father. No, katapang clear ang XFM Kalibo. Sa pag-resign ko ni Bishop Talaco, may mga ginbilin imong Father na mga kailangan siguro pagitutukan niya sa Diocese of Kalibo or mga concerns niya sa Kalibo.
Ako na bigla ako, no? Basta ang amo na inistoryahan, before that, na i-announce, no, sa hapon, at around 6 o'clock here in the Philippines, that he will be retiring, no, and that there will be an announcement, no, of his retirement, so much so that with that announcement, I will take over, no, on that date also, sa birthday niya, as the Apostolic Administrator. No? So, ito mo lang iya din na hambal sa akin. Kaya, amo na po nga, hindi na naman pagunahan ng Roma. Okay, hindi man maayo nga nagahinambal na na-announce sa dali na wala pa dito sa formal announcement sa Roma. Although eventually I came to know by magaling siya ginhambal ng Roma, pero nakabato na ako sa letter, no, of my appointment few days before June 16. And that's already enough.
Father, last na siguro. Sa pagpilit, masunod niya magiging bishop. Ano, sa bilog sa proseso, kinahanglan aklanon gid or tagaiyagid ba sa among banwa?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily nga nga diocesan. Pwede man nga religious. Meaning coming from a religious community who could also be an aklanon or not an aklanon. Okay, ako no, gusto nga, meaning, ako, halimbawa, no, nagbunga na akong ulon, nagbunga na ibang nga pan nga, taga-kapis ka timo na naintimog sa bagyo. No? So, not necessarily. Although it would be really and truly good, no, kung siyempre, the bishop to be assigned here comes from the place. He knows the people, he knows the language. Yeah, he's familiar with the situations. Mas maayo din, no? Kung isa sa mga pari, no? Ang butang, no? As the bishop of the place.
Thank you, Ms. Claire. Let us hear now the question of Mrs. Sumra de la Cruz Rojo of Aklan Reporter.
Good afternoon, Your Excellency Bishop Victor. It's an honor for us to welcome you to Aklan. I just would like to know your thoughts and reflections when this position was offered to you by Pope Leo,
The source,
your
Thoughts.
your
Your
thoughts
thoughts
or
and
reflections when this position was offered to you by Pope Leo.
as Pope,
No, your thoughts and reflections, Archbishop, when you received the appointment from Leo the 14th. If you
Yeah.
want to know.
well, mabudlay magbaliban sa tupak. Sino na ginabi ako, no? Na balibaran mo siya, kung iya akong i-appoint. I know this is a hard task for me. No? It's not really a matter of going back and forth, no? But ang load, ang responsibility, no? Ang mga ang mabugat, no? I think, no? I have already a lot of schedules. Actually, ang appointment book ko for this year hasta na December. So, kung may mga ari nga mga schedule, no? Iba ng mga pari, I try to accommodate the Leo as much as possible. Eh, siyempre, it's also my responsibility. So that's why I was telling my Vicar General there, Monsignor Eddie Pamposa, he would just be ready. Just in case I wouldn't be able to fulfill some of my responsibilities here in Capiz. Just be ready to fill in, the responsibility. So kung sa akon, well, dugang gibuka. Dugang gibuka. Eh, yung responsibility, meaning, you're talking of two groups of clergy. The clergy of Capiz, the clergy of Calibo. No? So may meeting ako dito sa Capiz, sa among yung meeting sa mga pari every second Tuesday of the month. Dito sa Calibo, every fourth Monday of the month. So second Tuesday of the month, fourth Monday of the month, may mga meeting man ako sa consultors dito, may meeting man ako sa consultors trade. No? So, wala ng mga meetings. And, well, I hope, no, that hindi ko dugay.
Follow-up question, Bishop. With all of your duties that you told us, no, and you said that your duty here in the Diocese of Calibo is more or less pastoral duties of bishops. Are there any specific initiative or programs that Your Excellency would like to prioritize with your tenure here in the Diocese of Calibo?
So far, wala kang iba na magsunod sa akong gamay. Wala akong lang na I will be able to meet the Board of Consultors. And meeting the Board of Consultors, I will be able to know some of the problems and concerns of the diocese. And ako man, sa schedule ang monthly meeting sa clergy, may mag-meet ko man ang clergy, no? Sa Diocese of Calibo. Kaya diraman sa meeting, I will be able to know, no? Kung ano man ang ibang pagiging mga concerns. No? So as of now, wala pa. No? Eh, bago ko wala ako, at least I was able to meet the consultors and the whole body of the clergy. So probably, no, as time unfolds, I will be able to think, no, about pressing issues, no, or concerns for the Diocese of Calibo.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Subra de la Cruz Rojo. Now, let us also hear from Mr. June Aguirre from Rockland.
Thank you, Father More. Good afternoon, of course, welcome to the Diocese of Calibo. Just came from Manila last week. We have a meeting with the media sa Manila, and we noticed na Pope Leo is very friendly sa mga media. After this few weeks of assumption into office, we interpret it as he is using the media to spread out the evangelization. Of course, that is a welcome, but it is also timely that the present conference is good here. Now, for my question, Archbishop, is in addition na sa question ni Mr. Allen, yung duties and responsibilities as the apostolic administrator. Kasi, to my understanding, once na wala pang regular na bishop sa diocese, hindi ka pa makapag-appoint ng makapag-install ng bagong priest. Is that also the situation po? Kasi you're an archbishop.
Install.
Oo. Yung makapag-install po ng mga bagong pare po. Is that part of your...
I think you mean appointment,
Yeah.
new appointment
Well,
or ordination.
sa kuwan, sa consultors, no? When the bishop resigns, some of the members, no, automatically also resigns. No? But I can reappoint them according to canon law as delegated. So I can reappoint them as delegated so that they will be able to perform functions for the meantime until such time nga may maabot nga patong obispo. No? Like in the case of Monsignor Noel Malakas, no? Mabayang Juan, Vicar General, no? So according to law, punta, hindi na siya pwede na maging Vicar General. But I reappointed him by way of delegation to be the Vicar General until such time, no, that there will be a new bishop. So pinhimo ko in order that he would be able to perform functions, no, for the time being. And aside from him, may iba pa ng mga pare, no? Ang mga members ng Presbyteral Council, ng mga pare, ang mga vicar foreign, no? So I reappointed them.
What about yung mga bagong pare? Gusto magpare po ng
Ordination.
ordination?
Pwede po.
Pwede.
Oh.
Okay, that's good news. Now for my follow-up question na po, Bishop, kasi as I understand na when a bishop resigns, of course, wala siyang retirement pay, pero how is he being taken care of now? Bumalik pa siya sa family niya, or is there any program, or perhaps kailangan para mga donations to help finance the day-to-day living of Bishop Portalao?
Normally, kung mag-resign isa ka obispo, no, it's up to him kung sabihin siya ma-stay. No? May araman niya ng obispo nga nag-resign nga dito na siya ukod sa Paranaque, although he comes from the Visayas. No? May araman niya ng obispo nga nagkanto niya sa Amerika naman. No? May araman niya ng obispo nga nagpapabilin sa diocese. No? So it's up to him. Kung ano ang iyang restaurant na lugar, kag ang mga daily concerns niya, kung may mga aragin man, ay sabto nila sa diocese. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jude. How about from Mr. Boy Zabal?
Bishop, good afternoon. After your appointment as Apostolic Administrator, what are your initial plans and programs for the Diocese of Balibo?
Initial plans and programs for the Diocese of Balibo.
What will you do na? Itong hambal ko kaya depende sa mga, siyempre, I'm still meeting with the priests, the consultors sa Libawa, no? Mga pare. Kasi siguro from those meetings, I will be able to discern kung ano ang mga important na mga concerns, no? Ang taga natin priority for the meantime. As as Apostolic Administrator. Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Boy. And let us now hear from Monsur from Betero, from Calibo Cable TV Network.
Good afternoon, Most Reverend. I just would like to ask, this is connected to the questions of Sir Jun and Ma'am Sumura. Under the canon law, can the Apostolic Administrator implement long-term reforms or restructure diocesan offices?
Long-term.
Long-term reforms or restructure at least diocesan offices?
Well, according to my appointment, I'm the diocesan bishop. I can also do that. No? I can also do that. So, pero wala na siyang long-term na appointment.
Temporary.
Ang mga appointment namin yung mga pare, halimbawa, isang parish priest, no? Sa kapis, halimbawa, 6 years. Ano? 6 years.
6 years for the moderators and parish priests, and every 2 years for parish vicars and team ministry members.
If not, until revocation. Na walang term nga ginagamit usually.
Thank you.
How about from Radio Todo, Mr. John Gorin?
Good afternoon. I'm John Ronald from Radio Todo. We would like to ask expectations. Are we expecting any youth and church collaborations in the future under your office? More programs for the youth and the community under your program?
Programs
Collaboration.
Collaboration
between
the youth,
The youth.
the church.
the youth.
Yes.
Well, I have not heard the youth yet. No? I have not seen them yet. I do not know their concerns, no, sa Diocese of Calibo. But, I still have to meet them. I still have to talk to them, and if ever I will be able to know kung ano ang mga gusto, there would always be. And there's no problem in terms of collaboration, because the youth is an important part, no, of the diocese. So, for me, it's not really something that we have to tutukan nato, no? To focus on, because the youth is a part of the bigger picture of the diocese, and they should really and truly be helped by the diocese, not only with the bishop, but also the priests of the diocese.
Thank you very much, Mr. Johnny from Radio Todo. Are there still other concerns that you would like to open up in this press conference? No more?
One more round?
Okay, so salamat, no? Salamat sa inyo. And well, this is the first time, no, I was able to meet members of the press, no? Pinakamukapilo, I do not know, no? Sa Baguio ay ako natandaan, nung na-ambush ako. Hangin sa katedral, pakatlo ko sa akong residence, may araw ng GMA, no? Ano ng mga ibang interview, no? Especially Christmas, Holy Week, no? Mga pressing issues, no? Kaya iba mga problems dito. So, pero, mga pinagkakaroon ng tao. I was really surprised, no? When I read that you will be coming over, no? This video. But it's nice to know. It's really another experience on my part. Something enriching. At least nakatubang ako press. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate, no, your citizens sa naman nga, may mga networking na puno eh. Kaya kung mag-contact ikaw sa isa, ay napapag-ibahan ang raman. Yeah. Salamat po sa inyo.
Question. Another question. Question, Father, first.
Are we allowed for a follow-up?
Just
Questions?
quick question,
Okay.
very quick.
Question, Father. Most Reverend, what inspires you to become a priest? Are there any persons or saint that inspires you to this vocation? And what are their role in your pivotal?
I only entered the seminary as a high school kid. So that was first year high school. I entered St. Pius X Seminary. And I was just there. Kung wala sa ito, basi magwa man ako. No? Basi mapadayon man ako. Pero while there, no, inside the seminary, I'll tell you something. Sabi ko, kung magwa man ako, gusto kong magsiman. No? Oo. Pero ano na ako magwa? I was sent to UST. But the thought, no, was still there during my college years. Pero pag-abot sa theology, ay sabi ko, wala na. Tuloy-tuloy na ito. So I was just inside the seminary, and of course I was discerning also my vocation, whether I'm truly fit to become a priest or not. Hindi man madali ang pag-design. Yeah. Hindi madali ang pag-design. Buha man na namin utod, malugod ako. No, ako lumayi, ako. So, sabi nila, buha man lang mo, sa kamilangan natin, pare kami. Sige lang, kung mo nagpabubutong sa mahal ng Diyos, that's it. That's it. Sa aral ako sa pare, I was just fulfilling my obligations. I was enjoying my work, no? Sa nagturo ako sa St. Pius X. Although there were also lots of challenges, but I was just doing my work until such time na ito may mga pambali, may mga anak sa aking kabuhi. Yes.
Thank you very much. Let's make it quick. Mr. Allen.
It's okay, Father.
Okay. Thank you.
Ako ba makaroon galing ay exam?
Yes. So thank you very much for your response, positive response to our invitation. It was never difficult to contact our Aklan media friends because we are friends. Thank you very much for coming, and I hope that we will have this kind of fellowship and sharing next time.
This time.
And of course, we thank the presence despite of this schedule. This morning, Archbishop Vic celebrated Mass in Ibahay for the feast of Saints Peter and Paul, and he just took a very short rest, and after that we had this conference, and from here he will proceed to Numancia to also visit the wake of Father Josue's mother, and from there, from Numancia, he will return to Capiz. So thank you very much for giving us the chance to have this press conference.
Tomorrow I will be leaving for Bohol because tomorrow will already be the start of our CPCP meeting. So bishops from the Philippines will converge in Bohol from June 30 until July 7. So there I will be representing Capiz and Calibo. So please pray for us. sure there are also other people who have been praying for us. But I'm also asking for your prayers. And all those, kung sino man mga kapatid, sige, after your press conference, I'm also asking for your prayers. We need that. No? We need that, especially sa mga obispo, may mga pressing matters and may mga decisions kami nga dapat amin limuin. But they should truly be reflective of the mind of the church. So thank you so much. And for your prayers, of course, in advance, and hoping that when we continue praying for one another. Salamat.
Bishop Vic,